Cool.
Ha! Welcome to CDR. I'm Bryn. This is Matt. This week we have been listening to Offspring's new album, which is...
Let the Bad Times Roll.
Let the Bad Times Roll, the fourth album. It's been 9 years since their...
The fourth album?
Sorry, 10th album. It's their 10th album, and it's been 9 years since their last one. 37 years they've been together, and that's been the original back in 1983. 86, they changed their name. Originally starting out as Maniac Subsidals, changing it to Offspring due to a B-grade movie that was named Offspring, They Were Born to Kill. And, you know, releasing their first album in 98, the self-titled, did you know...
Not 98, 89.
89, sorry. Did you know that when they first decided to make a band, they didn't know how to play an instrument?
That wouldn't surprise me.
So they went out and bought them, and they decided to learn to make, and they also pressed their first single on a 7-inch. Like, they completely paid for their own way to get there. When self-titled came out... Noodle was still working as a janitor, and they had the video and NTV, and people were like, "Hey, I saw you on NTV." He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Still got to work."
Yeah,
still got to work. The young days. I feel like if people went down the history of Offspring, they could find some potential of the struggle of what it really does take to be in a industry of music.
Yeah, the overnight success taking 6 to 7 years, right?
No. I'm sure a lot of artists would tell them that. No, I still work for like a fucking decade.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the case in point, right? Like everything great takes time usually.
Yep. Originally I know last week I said that they were managers of bands. I got that wrong. They originally were signed to Bad Religion's label for their first couple, and then they went to Columbia, and now they dropped out, lost all their rights. Big argument, fight. This time they've worked with Bob Rock, who they've worked with twice before on Days Go By and Coming For You. Swapped out.
Coming For You?
Yep, Coming For You.
What's that?
Is that not an album, or is that a single?
Might be a single.
Maybe a single. Bryn needs to do more fact checks. But this time Greg is gone and Todd is in from H2O.
As the bassist?
As a guitarist, bassist maybe? Yes.
Yeah, so Noodles is the guitarist, Dexter's the lead. I'm pretty sure...
Greg
was the bassist, and they had a new drummer in. The drummer has been basically the only fluid spot, and they had... I think they had the Angels and Airwaves drummer as their drummer.
Oh, yeah?
But I can't remember his name off the top of my head, so that sucks.
Yep. Well, if we go back to the Maniac Subsidal days, Dex is the only member left.
Okay.
So he's still running strong. And your week on this, Matt being a fan.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you listen to Offspring, you sort of know what you're going to get. You're going to get high-octane tracks. You're going to get the usual Offspring levity in certain tracks, and you're going to get the ball-busting tracks. For me, this was an enjoyable listen. I was a little bit worried because I think Days Go By, definitely wasn't... It was probably one of their worst albums, I would say. And so I was kind of hoping for an uptick in quality. And whilst I don't think this goes back to their Halcyon days, I think this is certainly a much better album. And so I was able to relax into it and enjoy it a lot more once I got past the nervous first couple of listens and could actually go, this isn't too bad.
I think when you walk in as a fan to a new album, it's hard to... You either love it or it grows on you.
Sometimes, I mean, Days Go By hasn't necessarily grown on me. There are some tracks on it that are good, but that one I basically haven't picked up since. Whereas I will still go back and listen to most of their back catalogue, ignoring self-titled and probably Ignition, to be honest.
Yep, true. Well, what's happened for them in the last 9 years? Dex, Dex a doctor, right?
I mean, by now I assume all of them are doctors, right?
I don't know.
It seems to be the thing. So obviously, like the Bad Religion. It's funny you mentioned Bad Religion because I'm pretty sure the lead singer of Bad Religion I'm pretty sure has a doctorate in something. And then you have like Brian May, who has like a degree in astrophysics. There's all sorts of stuff like this with these old rockers going and doing. Is it marine biology? Microbiology.
I don't know the exact title, but I will. He did write a thesis to finish his doctorate.
Yep.
Do you know the name of it?
No.
I'm gonna get you to read that.
Name of it is the identification of human microRNA-like sequences embedded within the protein encoding genes of the human immunodeficiency virus. Okay, well, it sounds pretty technical to me.
Yes.
I don't want to read that again. I think that was a pretty good first take.
I don't know how it look easy. If he came up with the subtitle, the title of that, I have got no chance of reading it.
It's not very catchy, is it?
I don't think most theses are very catchy besides the Big Bang.
Okay, so how was your week with the album?
Look, I've always known who Offspring is. I've enjoyed some of their songs, but not enough to really dive in and be... I don't think I ever had an album. I think my sister had the Offspring album. But this has definitely sparked a love and an interest for them. I am a fan. They're You're Gonna Go Far, Kid. I think for me at this particular time is one of my favorite Offsprings.
And that's one you dug up
That's what I dug up during the week. I think I actually found it a week or two before we started doing Offspring, and I was already like, why am I not listening more to this? This is exactly what I grew up watching. Taylor Steele surf movies with these, well, it's California rock is what they call themselves, but these fast-paced punk rock songs with just people doing epic things on waves and skateboards that I wish I could do. I've been dreaming about for the last 20 years.
Yep.
And, that just brings back a lot of nostalgia. Just the pump. And I reckon for you, take out Lullaby and what's the piano version, Gone Away. You got yourself a new running album.
I mean, it certainly keeps the BPM...
What is a BPM? Could you count it? Guess it.
I don't know. It would be like 150s, 160s, I'd say.
Yeah.
That being said, if you're in the Hall of the Mountain King, it's all of the BPMs.
All the BPMs. Start from low, get high.
Yeah, that's
which is hilarious.
I
can't believe they even throw down how much royalties are going out to that.
Well, no, that's I think that's in the public domain.
Oh wait, it's old enough to be public domain.
It was made in 1875. See, I did some research.
You did do some research. It's for a play. What's the name of the play?
Peer Gynt.
He does know.
Just a quick look down at my notes.
I was like, oh yeah. Which part of the play is that?
Who cares?
Okay.
Anyway, we should probably go through the tracks.
We really should. This is Utopia, pretty much banging out for the history or the short-term history of America's with the streets of the bruising and the dying and, quite frankly, riots and marches.
The roots of hysteria.
And you don't matter anymore.
This is an alright track. It's just typical Offspring chord progressions. I felt this was probably a weaker opening than I was hoping for, but it's not like it's a bad track. It's that case of you're going into a new album for a band that you have liked for 2 decades at this point. I wanted something that really grabbed me, and this was fun without like grabbing me by the scruff of the neck and throwing me about.
Yeah, true. A nice little walk-in intro.
Yeah,
I think so. Well, I don't mind that maybe the story behind it's a bit of a lead up. Well, the last couple of lines to the song is how do we fix a heart, or how do we fix it with love? And we start right now, like, oh, you're really just ramping up this album for the rest of it. What's going to happen? And then we go into probably it is the single of the album,
title track,
Let the Bad Times Roll. Instantly, I was like, yeah, you can tell this is Offspring.
Yeah,
this is just Offspring, and this is where they go in for. Oh, well, sorry, with the first one, it was soft verses with soft verses with a loud chorus, and this is kind of rolled in the opposite direction of a loud verse with a soft chorus almost dropping off, and you saying there's an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, it's absolutely
just super basic drums in the background. But I kind of like the just playing around a little bit and reversing stuff. It was to keep me interested in the second song.
Sure. It probably didn't do enough for me for me to count this as like a great song. I think this is serviceable. I do think that the chorus is a little bit campy. It's a little bit happy for what the subject matter is, and not in a way that I think is self-aware enough for me to enjoy it. I think the transition into the verses, though, are great. I think that's actually the highlight for me. The part that you were describing just before the podcast.
Yeah, we were both describing it. It's like I was saying, oh, this sounds like Fall Out Boy to me. And then after Fall Out Boy, it felt like...
Bit Foo Fighters-y.
Best of You.
Yeah. So, again, I think I'm seeing it from the perspective of a fan that wants to experience something new with Offspring. And given this is my 10th album with them to date, this again didn't give me enough of that. Although I do like the background vocals, the fuck it. That's such a typical Offspring thing, right?
What up? Fuck it.
Yeah. Fuck it.
It's funny you say about the lyrics. Some of them, the lyrics have a bit of a meaning behind them, and it's just hard to pick them out with the full rush of the song in the album.
Are you saying that it's hard to understand what he's saying as part of the song?
Maybe trying to get the feels of the lyrics is not so much. As I bring up Behind Your Walls.
The next track.
Yeah, which is the next one. It's, it starts out real soft. Everything is in the background. Sounds normal, but then he starts singing. It's almost like this whisper. Trying to deliver this message, however you want to take it on, and then bamming straight into the guitars and the drums and everything falling in that super fast, aggressive pace, and then it kind of just drops off. But I mean, if you sat down and read the lyrics, as I said to you, the next three songs are kind of a bit of a bummer.
They are a bit of a bummer. I mean, like Behind Your Walls is your quintessential. You're having mental issues. Someone is trying to be something of a guiding light and say, hey, are you okay? Lyrically, I think it's fine. Again, I'm still in that holding pattern of when am I going to get something that I can really latch onto and go, yes, this is good. I think this track feels like a bit of a filler track to me.
And this one's got the harmonies with all the boys in it, and you reckon that's the bit of their signature?
Absolutely, they're known for that sort of harmony, and they play off it basically for the rest of the album in subtle ways. It's what they're known for.
Yeah, cool. Moving on to Army of One. I like this. It's like this was a 50s surf rock music with a little bit of edge. I mean, you saying like that riff down chord. I, for some reason, was thinking of the Blues Brothers when I was listening to this. You saying that the lyrics are somewhat of Against the Machine.
I would say it's a catchy track designed to be, a middle finger to the machine at large, and I think this is the first good track on the album to my ear.
Yep.
I love that descending intro riff. I like the choice in the light distortion rather than the full ball-busting sounds for the riff that gets played in the lead into the chorus.
The ripping solo.
Yeah, and this track grew on me. I think the first time I listened to it, I'm like, oh crap, another filler track. But I think over time, this one sort of did grow on me. I think the lyrics are probably at their best on this track.
Out of the whole album?
At this point through the album.
Okay. Breaking These Bones. Oh, this fast-paced drums, and then what do you reckon it was after that?
Big AC/DC intro riff. It's just such an AC/DC thing. And the intro drums sound like Road Train from friggin' Nonagon Infinity. That every time I hear drums that are like that and driving the whole way through, I just want to go up and say, Road Train. What do you think?
I liked Breaking These Bones. I mean, I think you've pretty much nailed that one. There's not much more I can add to it. I don't think there is.
The problem is I'm going to be saying the same thing. I think it just feels a bit formulaic, this track, to my ear.
Yep.
And I know that people who listen to music primarily for the lyrics will probably enjoy this to some extent. But I think the chord progressions to this point are very Offspring. They're comfortable without being exploratory. I think it's just hitting that safe line a bit too much, which is a shame, given you've said that, you know, Behind Your Walls, Army of One, and Breaking These Bones are definitely the moodier, or a patch of moody tracks. It's a shame that they didn't come with music that felt interesting and new to me. But thankfully,
get the clappy song.
The album turns around basically for the rest of it.
Is this where you go the second half is better than the first? Yeah,
I think the first 5 tracks are a bit snoozy, with the exception of Army of One.
I do think the next, all the way through, you've got nearly all of them are super different, except for maybe Opioids and Diaries.
Yes,
and Coming for You, they're probably along the same line. But, you know, when you're throwing in classical and then a piano, tongue-in-cheek, even referencing some good old Looney Tune.
Yeah, so I mean, they do have something of a mixed bag for the rest of the album.
So the rest of the album, we'll cruise on with the clappy song first.
Coming for You, I mean, a sold-out, blowout Donkey Kong is just a lyric that stands out in my mind across this entire album. Hey, like, it's a thumper. It's Drace. Drace. What is Drace?
I don't know. We can make it a name.
I meant to say bass driven, but obviously my mouth.
He has made
failed.
a word.
It has that usual like Offspring swagger. That's basically like a middle finger up to all the shit that's happening.
Yep.
That's what I like. Like, this is, I think, Offspring at their formulaic best. I think this is a bit of a formulaic track, but it has that swagger that I really quite like. And maybe that's why I didn't like the moodier tracks.
So this is the middle finger.
Yeah, anytime Offspring have the middle finger up, I think it's enjoyable.
It's always fun when anyone has a middle finger up. This is very stompy and fisting for me. Lights Out, Permanent Snooze, a crowd chant. Like, this is the one that will get the crowd going. Imagine if Big Day Out was still going on and this would be playing. It would be sweaty, sweaty Metties everywhere.
Yep.
And just loving the chants just through it. Oh, hey.
And a shout out to the fun little fuzzy solo that they have.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy without being stale. I think it does a good job. Yeah, this is a fun track. I like this track.
Yep. Okay. To probably people who aren't a fan of Offspring, the elephant in the album, We Never Have Sex Anymore. For me, is 1930s was Prohibition, and there's just this jazz, trumpet, fun.
It's big. It has big band flair.
Big band.
But I'd be remiss if I didn't say that the intro horns sound like it comes from Donkey Kong Country.
So you said I just still didn't get it.
I'll show you after what I'm talking about. But I can't help but think that it was a self-aware choice, given the fact they directly referenced Donkey Kong in the previous song. You know, and like, this might just be me putting my nerd hat on and being left out in the cold, but fuck it, it sounds like Donkey Kong Country. Fight me. But yeah, this song
Boy, Lights Out, Permanent Snooze.
In the previous song, yeah. No, this song, yeah, I think it has all that flair. It has that humor that Offspring always bring to an album.
Yeah, they're definitely not lost their sense of humor.
No.
I mean, they've always brung a little bit of tongue in cheek, or just a little poke at people around the world, being, you know, pre-fly for a white guy.
Why don't you get a job? Original prankster. They have these songs in their track listing. I mean, even Rise and Fall, Rage and Grace had Things Are Messed Up, which ends up being like, Stuff Is Messed Up, which is really just a cover for Shit Is Fucked Up. Right?
Yep.
That's that playful track from that album. This song's great. Has the line. So usually with these sort of songs, they can be a little bit cringy if they're not humorous enough
to keep you entertained.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, this is not a type of music a lot of people would be willing to go out of their way to listen to.
I actually think the music on this track is the most interesting. I mean, clearly with the big band flair, right? And the riff in the verses is quite fun, but it needed to have the lyrics to suit. And I wasn't sold on the lyrics until literally like the end of the second verse, where he makes the line, "You let me drive your car when you're not home." It's just such a depressingly pedestrian, middle of the road, you're living just like this boring life type line. And I was just instantly sold on, well, of course you're not having sex anymore. I mean, if the highlight of your fucking day is you get to drive her car
when she's not
Or
do you think this is a guy who still hasn't got a job yet?
I mean, who knows, right? But like, I think that was the line that sold me on the humor of the song. And once I was able to relax and enjoy it for what it was, this song became one of the better ones on the album, I think.
Look, I enjoyed this straight away. I myself, listening to this, could only imagine myself singing this to my wife 20 or 30 years down the track and just trying to poke and aggress her, just be like, or if you're not going to violate me, at least be, aggressive.
Yeah, if you don't, yeah, exactly right.
If you won't violate me, aggravate me. It's cheeky. There's also a funky guitar sound in the back, which is just this little, quite distortion, but it's like a hollow echo added to it. But then they also use, as they bring in the trumpets, there's a trumpet halfway towards the end where it gets its own little tiny solo section, and then the guitar decides to play along with it. I think they just have a lot of fun with this album. With this song particular. Yep. They're all just, I don't know, maybe versing each other or playing along with each other or ganging up on each other. There's a lot going on, and it's fun. Yeah,
I mean, they hit the big band brief. This is a good track.
Yep.
And then the next track, of course.
Just showing off their classical skills. Mountain King, yes, we know. And if you don't know it, you fucking know it.
Everyone has heard, I'm sure by now, everyone has heard In the Hall of the Mountain King in some variation. Yep. Maybe not quite like this, the punk version. I think this is great. It always impressed me. Like the first time I listened to this track, it impressed me just how quick we were getting with the drums, and it just felt like, oh no, there's still some of the song left, and we just kept getting quicker,
faster and faster.
You know what my comment that I have written down next to this song is?
And this is the next song I'm going to learn.
No. In the Hall of the Mountain King.
What?
It's just yes. This is fucking fun. This is great. This is what Offspring should be doing, like weird shit like that. That is just so them whilst being interesting in an odd way, right?
This just smells of, fuck it, let's take a shot. Like, this is just, let's run it. Let's see what happens.
I mean, it sounds like you might bring up points.
I mean, to put it in this album, or just to put it in an album, it's just like, man, why not?
Yeah, they would have had fun one afternoon. Started playing the riff and go, actually, that sounds pretty fucking cool. Do we have to pay any royalties? No, it was made over 100 years ago. Fuck yeah, chuck it in.
Less than 2 minutes long. Like, perfect.
Yeah, we don't want the album to be too long. Half an hour.
Moving on to the the Opioid Diaries. This is a bit of another message. Hey, do you think this sounds like their older stuff?
Yeah, the Opioid Diaries is very reminiscent of their older stuff. So, I mean, I would describe it as formulaic because that tends to be my catch-all word for what it is to be Offspring in the previous 9 albums, right? But the thing that this track does is it rocks where others were sort of a bit flat. So, like, the layered vocals come in really nicely. The simple lyrics get the message out fairly quickly. And then you have it being high tempo, which is what you need for an Offspring song. I feel like it's not an Offspring album if there isn't like these packets of just like ball-busting tempo. And I think they hit the brief well enough with this. Even if it is formulaic, I think it's the best of the formula.
Yeah, okay. Hassan, jump!
Yeah.
No. This is Taylor Steele.
This is a banger.
This is surf all over it. This is skate, punk, rock. Oh, this is glorious. I love this.
I have since told Bryn about Dahui from the Splinter album, which is literally the surf song that they wrote. And probably one of their best tracks, in my humble opinion, because it's just so fun. But
yeah, well, you would definitely love a lot of Taylor Steele's albums.
Probably.
I mean, movies.
This is a banger. Why is it a banger?
Fuck if I know. I just get nostalgia from it. That's it. It's just...
I feel like this is the sort of song that would strip paint off walls. Like, that's how ball blistering this one is.
You reckon?
Well, it comes in, it's just like, the first line in the song is basically like, shit hits the fan when Apache meets the blade. It's like, oh, we're in for some shit here.
Yeah, this is definitely a bit of a war song.
Absolutely.
This surprisingly had words I had to look up.
Which ones?
Crosshair.
Crosshair?
No, not crosshair. Crosshair, which is Crossairs.
I missed that one.
Yeah. Oh god, damn it! What was it?
Looked it up, but so what did you think of the track?
The track itself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fun, quick, high tempo. Do you think it's the highest tempo in it?
It'd be up there.
It'd be way up there. Just everything is just banging into this. There's no real separation between any of the instruments and the lyrics. There's just all there.
Yeah.
It is a vomit of regurgitation of everything that works together.
Yeah.
It's stuck. The whole thing is stuck to the wall.
Yeah. Tied in with a nice little anti-war sentiment.
Yep.
And,
also the lyrics play on both sides of the in the story of
it's
Muslim
purely,
side and the US
side.
It's
purely anti-war. It's like you're throwing yourselves at each other for what? Is basically what I get from that.
Yeah, big things. And then we go into, I would have been happy if it stayed here or if they decided to put in a couple of other songs that they decided to scratch. But we come to a point with Gone Away being a piano version that they have been doing since 2009, originally started with their European tour. Mm-hmm. Matt, you have seen this performance.
Yep.
Loved it.
I like the change up.
Is it like when Rise Against do Ever Changing?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes. Without all the facts and details, yes.
Then it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And then, which is pretty much explains itself. It's just Dexter on the piano doing Gone Away. He's quite... sounds like he's got a cold.
So I would say he's reserved. I know what you mean when you say...
He's a bit nasally.
I think when he's trying to do those softer, more sentimental bits, it can come across as a little bit nasally. As soon as you said that, I'm like, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
When most of the songs are just yell, 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 and then you try to go into somewhat controlling, or very controlling of your voice. I mean, he has to have a lot of control over when you're screaming, because that's just another muscle to flex in the vocal cords.
But having the control to do something impassioned, but not at not with the knob dialed up to 11, can be a bit tricky. And I think he does a serviceable job. Obviously, he's not a soul singer. He's not he's not conditioned to singing ballads. But I think that the nostalgia factor works well enough here. I think the piano piece is it's clean without being overly flamboyant. I think it does a fairly good job of playing this one straight and being fairly truthful to the source material. Yeah, I think this is a great cover.
And then Lullaby is just pretty much an intro of This Is Utopia. So it's about a minute or so long.
So just to clarify, it's at the end of the album.
It's at the very, very end. And Matt, wish it was at the start.
Yes.
Look, you can explain, but I would just want to run why I think these last two songs are a sneak peek or Easter eggs to the up and coming concerts, where take the time that we are in now with, it's not lockdowns anymore, but still heavy restrictions, and definitely in America, the only place they can play is Florida and Texas. God bless America. I think that they're using the mindset that they used originally back when Napster came around. So when
Which is what mindset?
Which is, I'm about to tell you a story. Napster is the original pirating website, and that's where you would go to get certain single downloads or even full albums, most of the time a virus. And they knew that they weren't going to beat Napster. Offspring and Dex decided to put their album on their website and go, here you go, just, don't bother getting it from them. Get it from here. Leave your email address, and we will send you leave your email address, and we will send you out a message when we're going on tours or in your certain area. A different way of promoting themselves, adapting to the times that it was. They were going to get sued by Columbia because they were like, you can't give out those records for free. And then they go, well, we'll just counter sue you for not protecting our record. You're not doing enough to save it. So they came into the decision of only putting out singles on the website and letting people download them for free. I feel like they've used that mentality of getting around a situation, being that not a lot of people are able to come out to concerts. So they're hyping them up with, hey, we do this at a live. And this is just a minute and a half intro to what could be an epic intro into our concerts if you want to come see.
I don't think that explains why they would have it there on the
at the end
in the album list. No,
I think it's just a snippet to this is what you will see.
But so I know what you're saying. You're saying that this hints at what might be something far more extravagant in a live setting.
Yep.
It still doesn't explain, in terms of the context of the album, why it's there. So in my idea of how I would restructure the album if I was given the tools to do so, I would put Lullaby as the first track, because I think it does a fairly good job of framing what the first few tracks of the album are doing anyway, as well as the prevailing sense of dread that comes across the album. So like Lullaby is a great track. It has those haunting arpeggiated chords that make you feel unsettled, and the watery, distorted vocals just give it such a nice flavoring. It's just such a shame that this isn't the intro track, and then we aren't then given some bombastic prog epic 6.5 minute type outro using the key musical motifs from Lullaby into like maybe Lullaby Part 2, and ends up being just like this sick song. I'm just left feeling like there was a cool idea there, and they sort of they had an idea and they didn't develop it to a point where it went beyond just being a cool idea. So I think that's where the disappointment in that track is, despite the fact that I actually really quite like it. So I guess that's also is sort of a microcosm for how I feel about the album in total, is that I think there's a lot of really good ideas in here, and there's quite a number of tracks that are good, but I feel like there's just enough that miss the mark for me to not come out and say this is a great album. And so, yeah, that's sort of how I feel. If I could restructure it, you'd put Lullaby first, and you'd add one more track at the end, and you'd make it different.
There we go. This week it's been Offspring. Let the good times roll. Let us know what you think. Fun facts about the album. I am now a fan.
Great.
Yeah.
Can I suggest what album you should listen to then of this?
Is it Smack?
What's Smack? I'll give you a smack if you want to smack. Smash is what you meant to say.
No, you are not allowed to smash me. That's no fisting.
You should go listen to Conspiracy of One. I think you'd have fun listening to that. Okay,
I'll go listen to the Conspiracy of One. If you're not a fan, but are still into that 90s fast-paced rock, it's Offspring.
Yeah.
You know who Offspring is. You know one or two songs. You enjoy. I feel it's them, just a little bit more mature.
Yeah, it's 90s punk. It's fun.
Yep.
Can't
awesome.
ask for anything more.
6.5.
Yeah, bang on.
Solid. All right. Next week, Matthew.
What are we listening to, Brinny boy?
Next week.
Yep.
Delta Cream, spelt with a K.
Oh, okay.
By the Black Keys.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's cool. So we're actually going to have a couple of weeks of enjoying ourselves. So yeah. I'd like to do that
before I throw us back down the well.
Back into mathical rock.
No math rock. I'm thinking of going somewhere we haven't listened to before.
Ooh, electronic?
We have to wait and see.
Pop. World. Mr. Worldwide.
Cool. Delta Cream.
Delta Cream. The Black Keys next week. We're CDR. Thank you for just bothering. Bye.
For just bothering. Back! Hassan Chop.
Son, shut. That's what they did.
What?
Cass, quickly drop this in. Do you know who?
Do you want to pause it so that you can actually use it?
Yeah. Okay. Do you know who Joe Exotic is?
Tiger King.
Yes. Do you know how he made in the documentary? He did a song which was "Hey Kitty Kitty."
I have seen that song. Yes.
And the song is about Carol Baskin feeding her ex-husband who's gone missing to their cats, tigers. Offspring did one.
Oh, really?
They did a cover of it.
Oh, of course they did.
And then I tried to watch. His funny thing is, try to watch it. Somebody named Daniel Clinton, fuck you, has just removed it. Just like this has been removed by Daniel Clinton, someone who probably owns the rights to it.
Yep.
Asshole, put it fucking back up. But you can watch someone playing Fortnite and listening to the song in the background, so there you go.
I mean, Twitch IRL, am I right? You can go there, watch anything.
You can do whatever the fuck you want. It's a wild, wild west for the plagiarism for sure.
We don't condone that, by the way.
No, don't do that shit.